Hi, I thought I'd give a little tutorial today on Book Creator. Book Creator is an app that we use on the iPads to create books, and it's very user-friendly for our K to 5 students. You could do a similar project in Google Slides, but this here happens to work very well for our younger students, so I usually use it with my younger grade students. So the way you find it is by looking for the rainbow background with the book on it and the scissors, and it's called Book Creator. So I'm going to click on that app. And when I get here, this is where I would find books that I've previously made that I could go back and read, or I could create a new book. So in the top right hand corner, you're going to see a yellow rectangle and it says new book in it. So I'm going to start a new book today. I'll click on the yellow rectangle, and then I get many different options of the style of book that I'd like to make. And I usually hold up a book to show the students the difference between a portrait, landscape, and what would be a square book, so they will have an idea of what they want to create their book. Sometimes teachers like to give specific directions on this, and today I'm going to give a specific direction. I'm going to say I want to make a landscape book, so I would click on landscape. Other times teachers let the students choose. So when I open up my first page, at the top you're going to see that it says cover. So we need to put some type of a title on my cover. So in order to do that, I'm going to start using some of my tools. So the tools are hidden underneath that plus symbol on the top right hand corner. So I'm going to click on that. And then I have the ability of choosing a photo that I might have saved on my iPad. I can take a photo using the camera that's right on the iPad by clicking on camera. I could draw something with my pen tool. I could add text by typing, which is what I'll usually be doing with the students. And later on, I could have them actually record their voices reading their book to me by hitting on the add sound. So I'm going to start with putting some text in. So I'm going to click on the text tool, and I'm going to name my book, What is in My Garden? So I'm going to pose a question to the students. And then once I have that there, I'm going to say done, and it'll appear on my page. Now, I'm going to go add a second box because I want to have whoever created this book. So I'm going to click off onto the white, and my little box disappears around my words. I'm going to go back up to the plus tool. I'm going to add some more text, and I'm going to type in by and put my name, and then I'm going to say done. Now if it lands on top of each other like that, don't get nervous. You just take your finger and you just move it around. So I think I might want to add a photo to my cover page. So I think I'm going to go in and I'm going to click on the plus, and I have some photos saved on my iPad, so I'm going to go to photos. I'm going to go to all my photos, and I think I'll choose one of the images. Now if you notice, my photo is extremely large. It just covered up all my words. In order to size a photo, what you will do is use one of the blue handles on the four corners. You'll hold down your finger, just one finger, and you're going to drag. I'll make it about that size for now. And I'm going to click off of it, and I don't think my title is large enough, or my question that I'm posing to them, so I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go to something called the information tool. The information tool will allow me to change colors, to change the font. It'll let me center things. So the information tool is underneath the I. Now, if you do not click on that blue box, you will not find anything here for you. So I'm going to click on the I, and if you notice, I have something over here with the A's. When I go and click my finger on it, it's enlarging my words. So, and I usually give the students an idea about the size that I'm looking for. So I'm going to say about a size 40. Now, it's very difficult for them to get the exact, especially the little ones, the exact pixel. When it says 39px or 40px, that means 39 pixels. That's how many dots make up that image. So what I'm going to do is now say I want to change the color. So if you look down below, I'm going to click on where it says color. I'm going to make mine green because I'm going to make it go with the theme of what I'm talking about, which is gardens. And then I'm going to hit the back button. If you notice my text over there, it's not standing out. So I may then talk to them about bold, italics, and underline. I'm going to say I want to bold it, so I'll click on the B. And I'm not very happy with my font, so I may say next to font, I want to go click to see what else there is. I'm going to choose Cameron. And this is where you want to really talk to the students about what colors and what style they're choosing for their fonts, because a lot of them like to use some of the fancier fonts, which makes it more difficult for them to read and for other people to read, especially the handwriting ones. So I talk a little bit about the style of fonts. Some teachers like to assign one particular font and that's all they want them to use, and other teachers may want to let them choose on their own. So I'm going to say that we're going to use Cameron today. I'm going to hit the back button. And then I want to decide, do I want this centered on my text box? So if I click on the centering button where it says align, it's going to center it. Now I know my box is not exactly where I want to have it, so I'll be showing you in a minute how to take care of that. So if I didn't like what I just did and I want to totally take it away, then what I would do is I would hit the delete button. So for now, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to click on the white page to close this text box. Now I can click up here. I can drag my question right here. Move it around however I want. I'm always using one finger to do this. If I wanted to maybe slant my box in some way, I could take two fingers and I can turn my box whichever way I want them to. Once the kids find out how to do that, you're going to find that you'll have a lot of slanted boxes, so I would really put a limit onto how much of that I'm going to share with them. The next thing is I have my name down the bottom. Now I made what is in my garden a size 40, so I'm not going to necessarily want to make my name the same size. I'll probably make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to click on my name, and I'm going to go back up to the information tool, which is the I tool. Again, I'm going to go choose a color. I'm going to stick with my name. So I'm choosing green. Again, I want to center it. I'm going to make it bold, but I'm going to make it about a size 30 because my title was a 40. Now, if you remember, I told you that I usually do it within a couple of pixel numbers, so I put it at 31. That's fine, as long as the kids have a couple of range to go through. Now, there's something here called a background. I'm going to go click on background. I just want to show you what it's going to look like. Let's say I want to put a background inside of a text box only, and I put yellow. If you notice down below, it's behind my screen. I'll show it to you in a minute. The inside of my text box was now yellow. So let me get out of here so you can look at it. So if I needed to put color behind a text box, this is how I would do it. Now I'm going to stretch out my box. And I don't really want, I'm noticing that that's not working for me. I don't like a yellow background in a text box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that. But I want to show you, if I go and move my words behind this here, all I'm doing is dragging it. And you know there's a text box there, but you can't see it. So let me go back to the information tool. And I want you to look where it says move to back and front. So if I click on move to the front, now my words will appear on a picture. So if you wanted to have a very fancy background on your page and yet you wanted to have your words, that's how you would do it. You'd put a colored background behind them, or you would use a color tone. I can actually take away the background so you can see. I'm going to say none. And you're going to see that my words appear there, but you can't see them very well. So I might have to go choose, might have to go choose a different color for my font in order for them to show up. Okay? So that's how you put words on top of an image that you just brought in. You can either move them to the front, or if it needed vice versa, if you need it moved to the back, that's where you would go to do all those things, is right over here. Okay? So the next thing I want to look at is I want to look at page. So if I click on page at the top, I'm able to put a page color. So where the white is right now, I could change that to pink if I wanted to. If I want to get a little fancy and I click on more, I can actually go in and choose my own custom colors over here. I'm going to go back though by hitting page. By the way, if you choose a custom color, you need to make sure that you click on apply at the top right hand corner. So I'm going to hit page, and I want to show you that down below we have a lot of different images here. These are all the recent ones that I've used on my projects lately. But down below we have borders that we could choose to put in here. So let's say I wanted to do something like that. I do like that, so I think I'll choose that. And I'm going to hit page, and I'm going to go back. So you could go in and you could check the different borders here. You could do patterns in the background, whatever's going to fit for you. When I'm done, I'm going to go back over and click on the white part of my screen or the background part of my screen, whichever I have. I don't necessarily want to have my name over here, so I'm going to move it back over. And I'm going to go back into the information tool because I want to change my color again. And if you notice, it didn't make any changes on my image, even though I had my box in the background before. It's not going to make any difference. So if I click on the white part of the page, the colored part, whatever you have for a background color, after I have everything aligned, I need to put in another page into my book. In order to do that, there's a little black arrow on the right hand side. I click on the black arrow, and now I can put in second page by saying, if you notice at the top, it says page 2 of 3. So I'm going to click on a plus, and this time I'm going to go get another photo. And let me see. That's my photo. And I'm going to leave this large. I'm going to actually make this be the background on my page. I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller so it has a white border around it, which is the actual page. Here we go. So that's going to be my page. And now I'm going to go back and I want to say, let me see, do I want to send it to the back? So I'm going to click on back, and then I'm going to get off of here. I have to be a little bit careful now when I'm working because I have to add some information. So I'm going to get the plus tool, and I'm going to say, let's type. I'm going to ask them a question. I'm going to say done. Now I have it in green again. Again, it's probably not going to work well for being on a green screen here. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to change my colors. I actually use black to let it stand out. And then I'm going to decide if it works or not. Now, one of the things you have to be careful with is when you're using an image in the background, sometimes it can be too hard for the kids to see the words. So I'm going to go back again and see if I can choose something a little bit better. White actually works pretty well with my image that I have, so I'm going to leave it in white. Now, if I really wanted to, what I could do is I could add a text tool, and I could make it a link. So if I had a link that I wanted to put in here, I could just copy and paste it from Safari into the text tool area, and I could create a link, and the kids could go out to a web page that's actually, they can go and read about what it is that this plant looks like and see if they could find the name of it. Then they could actually go in and they could add a text box of their own, and they could write the answer into this. So it's a way of playing a little game with the kids as well. So the next thing I want to do is, if I click on the arrow that goes to the right, it's going to bring me to a new page. I'll show you. Now it's going to say it's on page 3 of 3. Well, what if I want to go backwards to the last page I went to? If I click on the arrow tool that's on the left-hand side, it's going to bring me back. If I click on it again, it'll bring me back to my cover slide. At the top on the left-hand side, you should see next to my book, there's something called Pages. If I click on Pages, what it does is actually shows me everything that I already have here. So if I were to click on page 3, it's going to take me directly to page 3. So if you want the kids to get someplace quickly, that's the way to do it. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a plus sign on the right. I didn't have that before. For every page that I add from here on in order to do that, I'll click on the plus, and you're going to notice at the top it says page 404. So I can keep adding pages that way. Sometimes kids get themselves into a little trouble and they get happy clicking that little plus. I already have 8 pages. When that happens, before you export your books, you want to go to Pages with them, and you want them to delete the pages that they don't need. So if I went to the word edit in the top right hand corner, and they start shaking like this, so I'm going to click on the page 8, and I'm going to say I want to delete this page. Click on page 7, I want to delete this page. 6, I'm going to delete. Let's say page 2 I wanted to use again. I'm going to click, and I could say I want to copy this page, and I would have a second page already made up. So if you're making a template up for kids to work on, and you have multiple pages that all need to look the same, that's a quick way for you to do it as a teacher. So I'm going to delete anything that I don't need right now. And I don't need 2 of these, so I will get rid of one of them. And then once I'm done with everything, you can see that everything's jiggling right now. You're going to say done, and then all your pages are back to normal. So if I click on page 3, it'll take me back to page 3. I'm going to click on the plus sign again. And this time I just want to take you to the pencil tool. And your pencil tool is here. There's an eraser, and there's a pencil tool, and there's actually some stickers here too that you can go in. The Bitmojis that they have here are pretty much the same ones that you're going to find in your keyboards, so I'll just click on one for now. Again, it's an image that you can just throw in here. Click off of it. I'm going to go to the pencil tool. I can choose the size of the line of my pencil. They even have decorative pen tips now at the bottom. But I think I will choose, let's say a crayon. There's also a highlighter there. I'm not sure if you noticed that. Let me pull that up again. There's a highlighter, a crayon, and a pen, and then there's the fancy auto one. Now down the bottom there's also pen tips, how big you want that pen line to be, so you can make that choice with your students. And then up here on the top, there's the black circle. This is where I'll go and I can change for colors. So once I do that, you can see that when I make letters, they come out colorful like that. So that's just another one of the tools. If I make a mistake, I click the eraser tool, I can erase it. And by the way, if you were writing on top of a photograph, it would not take the photograph away when you used the pencil tool. The eraser tool. A lot of times the drawing programs, you will take away an entire image with it, but it won't happen. And I can write on top of one of my emojis. And when I go and get the eraser tool, it won't take away. It does take away. It takes away my Bitmoji. But if I had an image in here that was a photograph that I took, it would not take it away. So that's how you use that. When you're done with whatever you're going to put on here, let me go back and just get another image to throw in here. I will click on done. It becomes a picture then. So what I need to do is size it. Okay. Once I'm done with this page, I can go and click on the plus, and I'm on to page 4. So those are pretty much the tools on this. I'm going to create another video in a minute, and it's going to be on putting my slideshow up for you.